It all started on a quiet evening at a local park. A single dad named Ethan Cole sat on an old wooden bench, watching his little daughter, Lily, giggling as she chased bubbles in the orange glow of sunset. Ethan had that calm, distant look, one that spoke of years spent facing things most people couldn't imagine. His faded camouflage jacket, neatly folded beside him, was the only hint of who he once was, a decorated Marine sniper, a legend in his unit. But here, in civilian life, he was just Lily's dad, the man who worked double shifts at the hardware store, and still managed to pack her lunch with a note saying, "I'm proud of you." But not everyone saw the kindness behind his quietness. Across the street, a group of teens laughed and filmed TikToks, loud, arrogant, careless. When they saw Ethan sitting there alone with his worn-out boots and plain clothes, they smirked. To them, he was just another washed-up man trying to play dad. They didn't see the medals boxed up at home. They didn't see the nights he stayed awake fighting old memories. All they saw was an easy target. One of them, a tall boy in a varsity jacket, whispered to his friends, "Let's mess with him. It'll be funny." They grabbed a can of Coca-Cola from their bag, shook it until it was ready to burst, and strutted toward Ethan like it was all a game. Lily saw them first. "Daddy, they're coming," she said softly, hiding behind his arm. Ethan smiled gently. "It's okay, sweetheart. Just stay by me." And then, without warning, the can exploded against his shoulder, sticky soda splattering across his shirt, his daughter's hair, the bench. The teens roared with laughter, pulling out their phones to record his reaction. But Ethan didn't move. He didn't shout. He didn't even blink. He just slowly wiped the Coke from Lily's face and whispered, "You're okay, baby. That's all that matters." His calmness confused them. "Hey, old man," one of the boys sneered. "Don't just sit there. You gonna cry?" The laughter grew louder. Lily's little hands trembled as she clutched her father's sleeve. Ethan finally stood up. His height, his posture, the precision of his movement, it all changed in that moment. The world around him seemed to quiet down. Even the wind stopped for a second. He looked straight at the boys, his eyes cold but controlled. "Gentlemen," he said, voice steady and low, "I spent 12 years keeping people safe, people like you. So before you decide to do something you'll regret for the rest of your life, think very carefully." Something in his tone made them freeze. One boy laughed nervously. "You think you're tough, huh? You're just a washed-up soldier." But one of the quieter teens lowered his phone and whispered, "Dude, I think that's him. Ethan Cole, the Marine sniper from the Corango Valley video." The others turned pale. They'd heard of him. His story had once gone viral. A soldier who saved his entire unit by taking out an enemy squad from over a mile away. The legend? The ghost of the valley. Ethan could see the realization hit them. But he didn't smile. He just knelt beside Lily, brushing her hair back gently. "Let's go home, sweetheart," he said softly. But one of the boys, guilt written across his face, stepped forward. "Sir, we didn't know. We thought—" Ethan stopped him with a raised hand. "You don't need to know who someone was to treat them with respect. You just need to be decent." His words hung in the air, sharp, heavy, unforgettable. Later that night, the video hit the internet, but not the way they planned. The same boy who filmed it posted it with the caption, "We tried to humiliate a man. Turned out he was a hero." Within hours, it spread across social media. Thousands of comments poured in. Veterans thanked Ethan for his service. Parents admired his patience. And many young people wrote how it changed their perspective on judging strangers. A week later, Ethan walked into the same park. This time, it wasn't laughter behind him. It was quiet respect. The same teens approached him, not with arrogance, but with remorse. They brought Lily a new bubble set and handed Ethan a folded letter signed by every one of them. Inside it read, "You taught us what real strength looks like." Ethan smiled. "You didn't need to write this," he said, but the boy replied, "We needed to. For us." That day, Ethan looked up at the sky, holding Lily's hand, and for the first time in a long while, he felt peace. The world could be cruel, yes, but it could also learn, heal, and grow. To anyone watching this right now, remember, you never know the battles someone has fought to stand where they are. Before you laugh, before you judge, take a second to look deeper. Because the quietest people often carry the loudest stories. And if this story moved you, take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to remember what respect truly means. Because heroes don't wear capes. Sometimes, they just sit quietly, holding their daughter's hand, smiling at the sunset.